in the audience, it doesn't matter who you are. They all sing, "Man, I feel like a woman."
Yes, they do.
It's an exclamation. And they all mean it in a different way.
Absolute Radio Country.
This is so exciting. Incredible artist who has sold over 100 million records. She's a trailblazer. She's an icon. She's a legend. And besides all that, she's appeared on stage not only riding a flying motorcycle, but also a live horse. Hey, Shania Twain.
Hello.
How's it going?
It's going great. I'm happy to be here.
And it's so exciting because you've got new music as well. Waking Up Dreaming. We can't get enough of it.
It's
absolutely love it.
So exciting for me. I'm sorry to talk over you, but I'm really excited about it. It's such an energizing song. And I wrote the idea quite a while ago. I always thought, I love dreaming and I love escaping in my dreams. I think we all do, especially when we're having a good dream. And sometimes I try to go back to sleep to carry on dreaming the dream because it's like such a great dream. Or to change the ending. If I don't like it, let me try that again. But I thought, it's so much better instead of escaping into the dream being asleep is to be awake and dreaming. Dreaming while you're awake, I'm a dreamer, I want to wake up dreaming and carry on, with those wonderful, my imagination and aspirations, all of those things.
It's so great because you immediately put it on and it's impossible to sit still while you're listening to it. It's a real, you got to get a wiggle on. But that is the case with a lot of your songs as well. So many of your hits throughout the years. Impossible to A, not have a wiggle to, B, not sing along to. There's just something, it's like that secret sauce in there. Is it honesty? Is it authenticity? Is it luck? How do you think that's happened?
Well, songwriting is its own
magic
thing. Yeah. So, they're singing the song, delivering the song, obviously presenting the song with a production, which is all part of that, how it makes you want to move factor. But the phrasing and the lyrics is really what drives that, whatever that beat's going to be. And so I think a lot of it's in the phrasing. A lot of the songs that I do that are up-tempo are very chirpy. There's a sense of humor. And they make me feel good. And I'm very energized delivering the song. I mean, this particular one, it's just so chirpy. And it brings me back to my favorite. It's kind of a hybrid of I guess it would be the early 80s, that smack snare, that really drives you on. Whether it's, that Footloose thing or the 9 to 5 thing. It's just kind of in that vein of it's infectious, the infectious smack on that snare.
And it makes you smile, you're right. It makes you really happy. One of the things that you say in it, tonight we're making our way to Mars. And I thought, all of this talk about space travel and everybody's going to space. And would you ever go to space?
I've never dreamt of going to space.
Okay.
I love this planet.
Yes, me too.
What can I say? I just love this planet.
You don't have to stay there, though. You could come back.
I see what you're saying, yeah. But would you? I think it's exciting, but no. And I'm adventurous. I'm very adventurous, but...
Okay, fine. So Shania Twain is not going to space. You heard it here.
I like gravity. I don't mind gravity.
Yeah, no,
my mind goes everywhere.
Yeah, you can go to space in your head.
My feet can stay on the ground, but my mind goes everywhere. It already goes to space.
I was saying earlier to the guys in the studio that you're one of the few artists, and I put you in this category, not stylistically necessarily, but with Dolly Parton in terms of the audience that you attract. If the dance floor is getting a little thin, regardless of the crowd, I know that I can pop on a bit of Man, I Feel Like a Woman.
Right.
And everybody's unfolding their arms and they're making their way to the dance floor. What do you think that is?
I do try to write music that is relatable to others. I write all kinds of music. I shouldn't say that I try to write music that way, but I record the music. So the music that I record to share with the public, I try to focus on things that people can relate to. And there's a big part of that is because I know that when I get up on stage I want to be with everyone. I want us to be on the same page. I want us to be sharing that sentiment. I want them to go, oh yeah, I feel like that too. That's where music brings us together.
Yes. And it truly does.
As a unit, as a universe, as a race. So the more streamlined I can get on something I've personally experienced that I know so many other people have as well, it's like I'm sharing. It's like a big pajama party kind of concept. It's like, oh yeah, I know, I saw that one too. Or, you share things together. And, we don't know each other. When you're in concert, there's, hundreds of thousands of people out there. But you know them in that moment, in that lyric, in that song, in that sentiment. You've been there together at one point in your life.
Yeah, and there's something really special about that energy that comes from an event like that or a gig like that, where you feel like everybody is on the same page and you can be dancing along and scream singing at the top of your lungs to a Shania Twain song with somebody that you would probably never speak to or look at in real life. It's a really special thing to be able to do.
I think the camaraderie and what we have in common in the lyrics of the songs that I try to write them that way is the equalizer.
Yeah. That makes sense, yes.
It doesn't matter. In the audience, it doesn't matter who you are. They all sing, man, I feel like a woman.
Yes, they do.
It's an exclamation. And they all mean it in a different way.
Yeah.
And they take ownership of that. And it's the same thing with the wedding songs, From This Moment On or You're Still the One.
Yes.
Everyone, so many people get married to those songs or engaged to those songs. And again, it's every walk of life. It is a great equalizer. It's just love, and it brings them together. And it's beautiful to see people championing each other. I do From This Moment On with a couple that comes on stage. Either they propose in that moment, or they're celebrating their engagement, or they're celebrating an anniversary, or they've just been married, whatever it is. And it's every kind of couple you can imagine. So it's beautiful to watch the audience embrace that love and that moment. It's all about them in that moment. And it's quite emotional, considering that the world is so divided and so judgmental sometimes. So, but everybody just wants to celebrate love. So see, this is the common denominator, and music is the voice for that.
You were talking about your audience championing each other, but you've been a real champion of new artists. So when I saw you at Stagecoach 6 years ago or whatever it was, you brought out Kelsey Ballerini, and she was just kind of starting in her career. And I thought, what a wonderful thing to do to give her that platform. And in terms of, being a woman in country music, there's a lot of talk overdue about that whole situation with diversity and representation within country music. But I mean, that's a ceiling that you've been breaking, for your entire career. Do you feel like it's getting better for these younger artists, or for you?
No, I don't think it's getting better at all. I was very, very lucky that I ended up a multi-genre artist. I didn't end up remaining limited. Mm-hmm. So it was a lot of work. Up was 3 albums, 3 different sounds altogether. So it's just a lot of extra work. But I wouldn't be being myself if I wasn't showing all of those, really being the hybrid artist that I am. But when I look at country music and female artists in country music, they are definitely not getting they're not getting the opportunities. And I think, and I've always thought this, and this is, even when I first came out in country, I would say to everyone around me, including radio, I would go to the radio stations. I said, they would say, no one's going to like this. No one's going to want to hear this. I said, I think you're underestimating your audience. You have to, I'm appealing to the audience with my person, with my inner self. I'm telling stories to people that I think they understand. And I think they need the opportunity to hear it and decide for themselves whether they relate or not. So the industry underestimated the relatability. And I think that that is happening again now. I think the industry is underestimating the relatability to females, what females have to say, to the female voice. And yeah, it bugs me, really, if I'm just being really frank. And I don't know what to do. I'm already I'm not in that predicament anymore. But I would love to help them fight their battle somehow. I just, I don't know.
And
Maybe
also,
they have to learn how to like fishing. I don't know.
Well,
I don't know how to get them to fit in.
Yeah, yeah. And by being themselves, that's the ultimate way to do it. But then people have an issue with people being themselves sometimes, particularly if it's women, if it's artists of color, if it's LGBTQI artists, which you've also been a huge champion of as well. I mean, we always think country's for everyone, and it looks to me like
it's supposed to be the friendliest.
Yeah.
Right? We look at country music as being a very friendly, very neighborly community kind of spirit. Mentality, and the public are. They are that. But for some reason, I think the industry, I just don't really get it. It's a puzzle. I think for a lot of people that aren't the stereotypical like top 10 hit makers, or in the top 10, whether they're hits or not, the door just isn't there. So what are you supposed to kick down? So we're just gonna find another way. Anyway, yeah, I'm actually writing a song now about that. I won't tell you about it yet, but I'm gonna write this one and get it out. I think it's a good. It's got a sense of humor, but it's about that message, just about how do you make change? How do you get to the other side of what seems impossible? I think we're getting very close. I think the more we talk about it,
yes,
and the more we expose the normalcy of what it is to be, how beautiful it is, and how important it is to be different and individual and unique to art itself. We just have to keep repeating the message.
Well, thank you for helping us lead the way. And as long as there are people like you in the position that you're in, helping with that fight, we can all band together and hopefully make a change happen. Listener question, Josh in Brixton, South London. He says, when did you realize that you were a superstar? Was there a moment where you thought, aha, this is different?
The stardom came very fast, but I was so busy and so preoccupied with workaholic mode, like absolute total commitment, dedication to my work. I wasn't absorbing it at all. I didn't feel, for a long time, did not feel famous. And this is really awkward moment. This was after Whose Bed Have Your Boots Been Under came out. And I was already 30. And that was my first hit. Mm-hmm. And I'm in the airport, and people would look at me and smile, but like they really knew me. And I thought, okay, are they just being friendly, or do they know who I am? Am I supposed to respond? Am I supposed to shy away? Like, what do I didn't really know what to do or how to act. So I just went to the payphone and pretended I was on the phone the whole time so that I would be preoccupied until my flight was called, because it was just I didn't.
And people were like, who's Shania talking to for so long?
I know. So I was like, I didn't know how to deal with it.
Right.
I wasn't experienced. I didn't know, but I did realize, okay, yeah, probably if I want to make my flight on time, even just for practical reasons, you need to have some sort of, security or VIP service.
Yeah, somebody to help you get through, yes. I realized that, because, being a country guy, I always loved what you did, but I realized that you were bigger than country. I was on a holiday in Prague, and it was one of those situations where there was an airport shuttle bus, somebody who was having a bachelorette party, and there was a bunch of gay guys, and there was an old couple, and they had the radio on, and I can't remember which song it was of yours came on, but it came on, and everybody started singing along, and suddenly everybody in that transport van to the airport was friends for a moment.
Adam Lambert said to me the other day, he said, I never liked country until I heard Shania Twain. And I thought, well, that's a really, really huge compliment. And, the country music, the element of my music is the songwriting where I learn how to write songs. Country music is always to me in the story and how you tell the story. And it's people like Dolly Parton and Willie Nelson and Chris Christopherson and Waylon Jennings, these songwriters that were telling, I guess, kind of folk stories, real life stories that ended up, that's called country. But as far as the musicality goes to country, I consider the Eagles country. I consider Anne Murray country. I consider so many artists country in the realm that it's more of a storyteller's music.
Just before you go, some quick fire questions.
Yep.
All right. Did you have a poster on your wall as a teenager, and who was it?
Kenny Rogers and Scott Baio.
What's your favorite season?
Fall.
Early bird or night owl?
Night owl.
Are you a sweet or savory person?
Savory.
Favorite cocktail?
Spicy margarita.
Good. On the rocks, straight up?
On the rocks.
Of course, classy.
Slow go.
Have you ever had a nickname?
Yes.
Would you reveal?
Yep, my nickname as a kid was always Leanie.
Leanie?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Well, because my first name was named after my grandmother, Eileen.
Oh, okay.
Irish, born in Ireland. And so everybody just called me Leanie for short.
Okay. Favorite color?
Green.
I was hoping you'd say leopard print. And we can make that officially
but
a
that's
color.
More than one color.
I know, but
we do need to make that a color.
If you said it was a color, it would officially be a color the world over. Oh. Sure of it. Shania Twain, a joy, a pleasure, a delight. Thank you for coming in to see us. And thank you for the new music. We can't wait for the album and news about the tour.
Thank you. You're awesome.
I'll see you soon.
Thank you.